Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 2nd November 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing it is a highly expensive training course, but we are providing complete free training, and all the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So to access all the training lessons at our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Once you click this tab, you get access to this post. And this post is having all the training lessons. And this post is having 2 YouTube playlist links. And both these playlist links are having all the training lessons. First one is having all the training lessons. Second one is having lesson 1.1 to lesson 8.2 examples, mainly related to forex trading and crypto trading and some of the commodities. Okay, let us click on the first playlist. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Here you have lessons up to lesson 30. You just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. You can find my training instructions at our Telegram channel. I am providing our Telegram channel link in this video description. So join at our Telegram channel. In the previous or old messages, you can find all the training instructions. You can also find our training instructions in the pinned messages at our Telegram channel. Okay, please make use of this opportunity. Now I am generating different supply demand zone reports with the help of NeoStock Software's supply demand zone top-down analysis strategy builder. Okay, first I am generating stocks near daily and 75 minutes demand and supply zones so that we can identify high priority, high liquidity zones, and they can be used for high liquidity zone strategy that you learned in lesson 21.3 video. Okay, first daily time frame, stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Let us identify daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. REC Limited is having daily high liquidity zone. Next, Yes Bank is having daily high liquidity demand zone. Next, Zydus Life is having daily high liquidity demand zone. So total 3 daily high liquidity demand zones we identified from this list. So I am giving you a few seconds time to watch the reports. So I request you pause the video, study the report and proceed to the next reports. And those who don't understand the structure of the reports, I request you complete lesson 21.1 video, lesson 21.1. In that video I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next, daily time frame, stocks near to the daily supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Let us identify high priority, high liquidity supply zones. We don't have any daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Let's identify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones. Crompton is having a high liquidity zone. Next, IEX is having a high liquidity zone. Motherson is not valid because it is a pierced zone. But anybody wants to use pierced zone strategies, you can use as per the concepts learned in lesson 28, but not for high liquidity zone strategy. Next one is Solar Industries. It is also moving between high liquidity demand and supply zones. so that you may get trade opportunities on either side. And the last one is Voltas. So we identified four 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. Okay, next for 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone, we got 5 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. First one is a pierced zone. You can't use it for high liquidity zone strategy, but you can use it pierced zone. But it is not listed in F&Y anyway. This is a low priority high liquidity zone. You may use low priority high liquidity zones, but you can't expect 80% success rate. Their success rate is lesser, maybe 75 or 65 in between. Okay, this is about stocks near daily and 75 minutes time frame. Next, I will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain reports. Starting with NIFTY, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain report. In any supply demand zone chain report, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones, and look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones, and always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. You already land one time frame higher is ITF and one more time frame higher is HTF. And please apply the same points for all the supply demand zone chain reports. Also, as I explained earlier, don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you very few seconds time to watch the reports. Okay, this is monthly supply demand zone chain report for NIFTY. Next, generating a weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is a NIFTY supply demand zone chain report. Next, I will generate BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain, changing the name to NIFTY Bank. That is nothing but BANKNIFTY. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating a weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty. Next, I will generate sideways bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. Starting with monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup. Entry time frame should be daily. Entry zone should be demand zone. In bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup, at entry time frame daily, I am selecting sideways long trade setup, and the zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, and the minimum odd enhancer score should be 11 for sideways and 12 should be for bullish or bearish. This is sideways, so I selected 11, and only daily entry time frame daily I am allowing pierced zones, because anybody wants to use pierced zone strategy that you learned in lesson 28, you can use the pierced zones, but don't use pierced zones for sideways or bullish or bearish trade setup. You ignore them. Only daily time frame. Remaining time frame, I will filter the pierced zones. Okay, now I am generating the report. We got 3 stocks, and all the 3 entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Monthly income trade for sideways long trade setup. You should plan trades in these daily demand zones only if lesson 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next, sideways short trade setup. The changes are daily supply zone and sideways short. Monthly income trade for sideways short trade setup. We got only 1 stock, but it is a pierced zone. You should use it only for pierced zone strategy that you learned in lesson 29. Sorry, lesson 28. Okay, next, bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Changes are daily demand zone. Changes are daily demand zone. Here bullish, and the minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. So first 18 stocks supporting monthly income trade for bullish trade setup, and all the entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. First 18 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total we got 24 stocks. Out of these 24, there could be some high probability trade setup daily demand zones might be available. But we should identify those high probability trade setup daily demand zones based on 2 different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. First strategy is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, and then ITF EMA confluence. That is the first strategy. So let's apply that strategy and identify zones. Step by step, first strategy I am using. First step, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, that is daily and weekly demand zone confluence. By applying the strategy on those 24 stocks, we got 18 stocks. In all the 18 stocks, all these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. That means daily demand zone is part of the weekly demand zone. And also weekly trend, ITF trend is weekly trend is up in all the stocks because it is bullish trade setup. So I am further filtering this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. So I am going back, applying the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, because daily demand zone overlapped with weekly demand zone. Now let's filter. Now we got 14 stocks. So these 14 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. That is very, very important. If they are not satisfied, higher chances of zone violation. This is the point we should remember. But use only non-pierced zones, daily demand zones. Any pierced daily demand zones should be used only pierced zone strategy. This is the first strategy, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, and then ITF demand zone with ITF EMA confluence. Now let's apply the second strategy. So I'm going back, removing ITF filter. As per the second strategy, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, and then HTF demand zone with HTF EMA confluence. First step, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. 3 filters we have to set. That is daily and weekly, daily and monthly, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. By applying all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In all these 5 stocks, all these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone, both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is uptrend in all the 5 stocks. So let's further apply monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence. So I'm going back, applying the EMA filter on the monthly with monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. So we got 3 stocks. So these 3 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, otherwise higher chances of zone violation. So this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next I will generate bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone, bullish or bearish at a daily time frame. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. Let's filter. So we got 4 stocks. So these 4 daily supply zones are supporting monthly income trade for bearish trade setup. Okay, out of these 4 daily supply zones, let's identify any high probability trade setup. Daily supply zones are available. So I'm going back, applying the first strategy and first step. In the supply zone confluence, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Applying the filter on the 4 stocks, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And the weekly trend is up downtrend. Let's further apply the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Because weekly trend is downtrend, you can apply EMA confluence at weekly supply zone. 1 stock is filtered. So this daily supply zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, otherwise higher chances of zone violation. Okay, now let's apply the second strategy, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone and HTF EMA confluence. Removing ITF EMA filter, the supply zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. That is daily and weekly, daily and monthly, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. By enabling all the 3 filters, we got only 1 stock. So that means this daily supply zone overlapped with weekly supply zone, both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. Now let's verify if the monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. But monthly trend is sideways. Sideways trend EMA confluence you should not apply. So I am not applying. So it's not high priority daily supply zone as per the second strategy. But only advantage is LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence is there. You can use this zone but not for monthly income trade. Okay, this is a bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, let us generate weekly income trade reports. First, weekly income trade sideways long trade setup. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. Bullish or bearish or sideways at entry time frame 75 minutes. Selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhanced score 11. And third filter I am adding, that is 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced because that is the entry time frame zone. Let's apply the filter. That is pierced count. Pierced count at 75 minutes time frame should be 0. So minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means the pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means the zone is not pierced. Which zone? Whatever the zone you select here. We selected 75 minutes demand zone, so it is not a pierce. 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So let's filter. We got two stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. And you should plan trades in these zones only if lesson 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next sideways short trade setup. For weekly income trade, the changes are 75 minutes supply zone and here sideways short. Let's filter. So we got three stocks. Entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zones. You should plan trades only if lesson 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. The changes are 75 minutes demand zone. Here bullish and minimum odd and enhanced score should be 12. Let's filter. First 17 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade and all the entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So first 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 19 stocks are filtered. Out of these 19 75 minutes demand zones, there could be some high probability trade setup supported 75 minutes demand zones might be available. And we should filter them based on two different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. So the first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence and then ITF demand zone with ITF EMA confluence. Let's apply step by step. So first LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, that is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence filter is enabled. After applying the filter, we got 15 stocks. And all the entry time frames on 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend, that is ITF trend, is uptrend in all the stocks. Let's further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So 8 stocks are filtered. So these 8 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, otherwise higher chances of zone violation. So this is the first strategy report. Next, second strategy, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, and then HTF EMA confluence. So I'm going back, removing ITF EMA filter, demand zone confluence, 3 filters I am enabling, LTF, ITF, HTF. So that is 75 minutes and daily, 75 minutes and weekly, daily and weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In all the 5 stocks, all the 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with the daily demand zone, both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is uptrend in all the stocks. Let's further filter this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Okay, let's filter. 4 stocks we got. So these 4 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, otherwise higher chances of zone violation. So this is a bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Okay, next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zone. At 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum order enhanced score 12. And also 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 5 stocks. So these 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. So total we got 5 daily supply zones. Sorry, 5 75 minute supply zones. Sorry for my mistake. Entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. So total 5 75 minute supply zones. Out of these 5 75 minute supply zones, let us identify high probability trade setup 75 minute supply zones. Based on 2 different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. Okay, first strategy, LTF, ITF supply zone confluence and then ITF, EMA confluence. First supply zone confluence, I am enabling 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. By applying the filter on the 5 stocks, we got 4 stocks. In all the 5, 75 minute supply zones overlapped with daily supply zone. And the daily trend is a downtrend in all the 4 stocks. Let's further filter based on daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So one stock is filtered. So this 75 minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. So this is bearish trade setup as per the first strategy for weekly income trade. Next, let's apply the second strategy, removing ITF EMA filter. As per the second strategy, LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence and then HTF EMA confluence. So we should enable 3 filters, 75 minutes and daily, 75 minutes and weekly, daily and weekly. By enabling all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 75 minute supply zones overlapped with daily supply zone, both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. But weekly trend is sideways. Sideways trend EMA Confluence does not give any advantage. Okay, this is a bearish trade setup for a weekly income trade. Next, I will generate a daily income trade reports. For daily income trade, sideways long trade setup, entry time frame is 15 minutes, entry zone is demand zone, bullish or bearish or sideways at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and hands score should be 11 for sideways, and 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means this selected 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So let's filter. So we got 5 stocks. So these 5 stocks are supporting sideways long trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So total we got 5 stocks. You should plan trades in these 15 minutes demand zones only if lesson 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next, sideways short trade setup for daily income trade. The changes are 15 minutes supply zone, and here I am selecting sideways short. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks, and entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zone. You should plan trade in this 15 minute supply zone only if lesson 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next, bullish trade setup for a weekly income trade. The changes are 15 minutes demand zone, here bullish, and a minimum odd and hands score should be 12. Let's filter. We got 17 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. All the entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So total we got 16 stocks. First 16 stocks. Scrolling the list down, total we got 17 stocks. And you should plan trades in these 17 stocks only if high probability trade setup 15 minutes demand zones are available. And we should identify high probability trade setup 15 minutes demand zones based on 2 different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27. Okay, let's apply those filters one by one. First strategy, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, and then HTF EMA confluence. First LTF and ITF demand zone confluence I am enabling. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. By applying the filter, we got 16 stocks out of 17. And in all the 16 stocks, 75 minutes trend is uptrend. So let's further filter based on EMA confluence at 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA. 8 stocks are filtered. So these 8 15 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, this is as per the first strategy. Next, we will apply second strategy, LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence. After that, HTF demand zone with HTF EMA confluence. So I am removing ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set: LTF, ITF, HTF. First one, 15 minutes and 75 minutes enabled, 15 minutes and daily, 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. So by enabling all the 3 filters, we got 7 stocks. In all these 7 stocks, all these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone, and then both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is uptrend in all the stocks except 6th one. So we should eliminate this stock, and remaining 6 daily demand zones having daily EMA, then you can plan trades in the filtered stocks. So in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am enabling daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, and we don't want sideways trades set up at daily time frame. So I'm selecting uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So we got 5 stocks. In all the 5 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, then only you should plan the trades. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, this is a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Okay, next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. The changes are 15 minutes and entry time frame zone, supply zone, bullish or bearish at 15 minutes time frame. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12, and this 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. Let's filter. We got 6 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zone. Total we got 6 stocks. Out of these 6 stocks, let us identify high probability trade setup, 15 minute supply zones. So 2 strategies that you learned in lesson 27 we will apply. First strategy, LTF and ITF supply zone confluence, and then ITF EMA confluence. First step, 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence filter I am applying. We got 4 stocks. In all the 4, the 75 minutes trend is downtrend. So let's further filter based on EMA confluence at 75 minutes supply zone with the daily EMA confluence. So we got 1 stock. So this 15 minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next strategy, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone and HTF EMA confluence. Removing ITF EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, 3 filters I am enabling. 15 minutes and 75 minutes. 15 minutes and daily. 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 15 minute supply zones overlapped with 75 minute supply zone, both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is a downtrend in only 1 stock. Let's check if this daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. EMA confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone with daily EMA. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Let's filter. So that one stock is filtered. So that's why this 15-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay. So this is a bearish trade setup for daily income trade. We have completed all the 3 income trade report generation. Next, I will generate finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for all the time frames. Starting with yearly time frame, stocks near yearly demand zone, no stocks. Stocks near yearly supply zone, no stocks. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone, we got 3 stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone, no stocks. Next time frame, half yearly, stocks near half yearly demand zone, no stocks. Stocks near half yearly supply zone, no stocks. Price closed inside half yearly demand zone, we got 8 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone, we got 3 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly, stocks near quarterly demand zone, no stocks. Stocks near quarterly supply zone, no stocks. Price closed inside the quarterly demand zone, we got 18 stocks. We can further filter this list based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. Quarterly demand zone with quarterly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. Let's filter. We got 11 stocks. Okay, next. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 15 stocks. Let's further filter this list based on quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. Trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. So we got 4 stocks. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, stocks near monthly supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. First 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, 25 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. So we got 10 stocks. Okay, next, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, 29 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. We got 7 stocks. Okay, next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone, we got 13 stocks. Next, stocks near to the weekly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 41 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. So we got the filtered list. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 27 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 52 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. Let's filter. So we got the filtered list. 16 stocks we got. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So this is weekly time frame. Next time frame daily already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone. We got 12 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 125 minutes supply zone. We got 12 stocks again. Next time frame 75 minutes already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near to the 25 minutes demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minutes supply zone. We got 12 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minute supply zone. We got 12 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near to the 5 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 5 minute supply zone. We got 13 stocks. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. So the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down, whichever the stock you want to refer there, pause the video, study, and then proceed to the next reports. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.